Come on. Oh, because the Whitey Show, the Whitey Show, the Whitey Show.
Whitey Show.
The Whitey Show, the Whitey Show.
Whitey Show.
I'm the review who loves to say son of a bitch. The same review who hates most Nintendo shit. I'm the one who calls games what they are. I even own the 360 and hate Gears of War. Guy who spends his money on games, fucking cards. Just a funny guy who became a YouTube star.
Well, the story here is basically we're putting Joker in jail, but he gets loose in Arkham Asylum, and he gets to run the whole shit. And then instead of guards in the hallways, you got all the criminals, and basically Batman's on his way to stop him. But throughout this game, you meet all the villains that are set free, and you know, all the big evil dudes like Croc and Harley Quinn, and they all coming after you to kill you. So the story, well, I didn't find all that great or interesting. Some might really find it enjoyable, especially if you like the villains of the series. But what I will say is that some of the voice acting in this game is great, such as Joker, done by Mark Hamill. He is one of the best, in my opinion, in terms of voice actor. He's funny, he's evil, sadistic, it's great. And a few others are really good. I thought Batman's voice acting was kind of weak, and yes, I know he's from the TV series, but he didn't really capture any emotion for me in a lot of parts, and I don't really like, you know, Batman from Dark Knight, but I'd rather when you meet Joker, he'll go, "I eat your face," than, you know, Batman going, "Stop it, Joker." It's just not really that intimidating. But overall, the majority of the voice acting is really well done, and I will say the pacing was very well throughout. I mean, you're never really bored or anything, but the story itself, it didn't really do anything for me. Overall, the graphics in a word are basically amazing. The models look kick-ass. They really do. The effects look great, especially blowing shit up just looks awesome. The design is just, it's Batman. It looks like, it's like dark enough to be Batman, but not so dark that it's like gritty. So overall, you really enjoyed the design of Batman. You're going to enjoy this game. The only thing I have to say needed improvement was some of the stiff animations, or some of the animations of the enemies, because when they're dying or falling, they look like they're having a seizure, and it's just hysterical, but not really cool looking. Batman has a lot of gameplay elements, but I'm going to cover mostly the two main points of the game. One is the stealth, and the other is the free flow fighting. The free flow fighting, that's what I call it, is basically you have a group of enemies, up to even like 15 enemies at once, and basically you're hitting one to the other, kind of like if you want to think of another game that compares, Fable 2. As you're going through these enemies, the combat itself is basically just X button and then Y to counter for the 360. So you'll hit one enemy and then quickly turn to your side and hit another, then behind you drop kick the other, and so on. That's free flow fighting. You never really focus on one enemy throughout the whole time. You could, but there's really no point. It's very easy to get into, it flows very nicely, and there's basically no complaints on it except that it is very basic. There's really nothing to it. I mean, you unlock a few moves and everything, but it's basically XXXXS, Y to block an attack or counter, I mean, and that's basically it. Well, it's not the best fighting system in terms of depth. It's just very easy to get into, very easy to use, and, you know, slow motion kicking a guy in the face and him go, "Rah," and Batman just like looking all cool. You can't really go wrong with it. The stealth, on the other hand, I love. Stealth is, to me, some of the best stuff ever in a video game. You have the enemies, they walk around with the guns, because if you walk up to a guy with a gun, he will shoot your ass. He will kill Batman. Batman is not Superman. He will die. So, you gotta do is stealth, well, not kill, but stealth knockout. Basically, you'll duck most of the time. I mean, you'll move very slowly, and then when you see a guy turn around, you run up to him, hold his mouth until he falls asleep, and then lay him down. Well, it sounds simple and easy. You can do all these tactics, such as using one of your gadgets to distract another enemy, or blowing something up. All the guards run to that one spot while one stays behind, you take him out, or while they're walking or under a gargoyle, you just pick them up, hold them for a little while, and then throw them off. I mean, there's all these different ways to take people out, and overall it really works in different situations, and it never really gets boring. So these two main gameplay elements just work really well together, and the game didn't want to just focus on one, because the game would have been a bore, but with these two, it really works. It makes the flow of the game really nice. So the main gameplay is great. Now you're up to this point and you're saying, well, you're missing out on a bunch of stuff like the gadgets and everything. Well, guess what? You're going to have to play the game to get all the gadget info and everything. The gadgets are in there. They're fun to use. All of them have their uses, and that's great, but I'm not going to go in depth with them. You want to look up that stuff, go on Wikipedia or watch the trailer on gadgets. The main gameplay I covered, so if you like the sound of the main gameplay, this game will probably be for you. I enjoyed the gameplay throughout. I really didn't have a problem with it. The only problem was the lack of depth and the fighting. And overall, it worked out. There's also, you know, platforming and, of course, you know, finding clues and all that. So it's fun to add all these little things in, but the two main focus of the gameplay is stealth and fighting. And if you enjoy those two, you're going to enjoy the game. Overall, I had a good time playing this game. In terms of replayability, you have the challenge rooms. I feel a little let down by them. They're basically, a challenge room is taking a piece from the game and adding maybe another 1 or 2 enemies in certain conditions, and that's basically a challenge room. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit disappointed in the challenge mode. It just didn't live up to what I expected. But the story mode itself is a lot of fun. You're playing as Batman, motherfucking Batman, Batman the detective, Batman the millionaire, Batman that who will eat your face. This is Batman. So if you enjoy Batman, you're gonna enjoy this game.